Hi folks, welcome back to another New Book Tuesday. Today is September 14th and we're going to be discussing all the books that came out today. So welcome back folks, my name is Wicklow and we're going to be discussing all the books that got released today, some that I shall add to my TBR, and some that I've actually already received ARCs from, so you'll see that little star. None of it influences my opinion. I give my honest reviews, but my reviews will be later. This is just to discuss maybe the cover and the synopsis. So let's get to it. Today we're going to be starting off with our middle grade section, and we have 3 books for that. The first one we're going to be talking about is Once Upon a Tide. Now this book is fantasy and royalty. So if those float your boat, you might like this. So Princess Lana is the youngest ambassador ever to represent her underwater kingdom at the Royal Festival on land, and even though it means trading her mermaid tail for a clumsy pair of legs, and worse, spending the week with her mother who chose life on land over her children 7 years ago, Lana can't wait to prove her political chops. But once on shore, nothing goes as planned. The children of the visiting kingdoms spread nasty rumors about Lana and her brother eavesdropping on human thoughts just because they can communicate telepathically underwater. Never mind that their powers don't work on land. Lana's mom is wrapped up in the new king of a neighboring kingdom who turns out to be her new boyfriend, and despite her ambassador status, no one will let Lana near a single important negotiation or meeting. Then an earthquake strikes, and though Lana is desperate to rush to the aid of her people, her father insists that she stay on land. As the days on land add up, nothing her parents tell her about the disaster makes sense. Soon Lana uncovers signs that more forces may be at work, and they could spell war for her people. Can Lana uncover the truth about what's happening and protect those she loves before it's too late? This is a sweet one. Also, mermaids are always a vibe. Always a vibe. So, the second book that we're going to be discussing is Tessa Pendragon and Wand of Avalon. Yes, I don't know why I was like, Avalon. So, this book is fantasy and adventure, and it follows the line of Merlin. The line of Merlin has survived. 2 children born in exile. 1 good, 1 evil. Only one can take the throne. Harry Potter meets the School of Good and Evil in this exciting new adventure series about a young child's quest to reclaim the magical throne, and the other child whose destiny is to defeat her. Ooh. 3 days. That's all that stands between 11-year-old sorcerer Tess and knowing the truth of her legendary ancestry. For as long as she can remember, Tess has lived at a secret magical boarding school shrouded in mystery. But now she's had enough of snobby blonde witches, nagging magical pets, and brewing lessons that require handling spotted bat poop. There's something far greater for her outside the school of magic. She's sure of it. But when shadowy visions begin stirring inside of Tessa, a dark prophecy is revealed that will alter her life forever. An ancient evil has been awakened, and its shadowy powers reside in another young girl whose destiny is to hunt and destroy Tess. And it seems that she has found her. In a whirlwind adventure, Tess must escape the secret school to journey through troll-owned estates, dodgy pubs with singing moose heads, underground jousting pits, and even a haunted dragon tomb, all to retrieve the Wand of Avalon, a wand that belonged to Merlin himself, which can unite the realm and save her friends from the evil that threatens to destroy them. I kind of want to read this, so TBR. Anything to do with, like, Merlin, Arthur, Morgana, I'm in. And even Descendants, I'm in for that. It sounds like a good book, too, so why not? So, gonna read that. The third and last book for the middle grade books that we have for today is The Raven Heir, which is a fantasy adventure book. So, a set of magical triplets, 2 warring dynasties, and a broken crown waiting for its rightful owner. Deep within an enchanted forest lies a castle where a set of triplets and their sorcerer mother have lived for years, safe from the decades-long war of the Raven Throne that rages in the kingdom beyond. Cordelia, one of the triplets, has the power to become an animal with just a thought. She yearns to discover more about the world outside her castle. But one day the world comes to her when the eldest of the triplets becomes the newest heir to the throne. Knowing that being named heir means certain death, Cordelia's mother hid the truth about which child is eldest when she hid them in the forest. When her family is captured, it's up to Cordelia to use her powers to keep her siblings hidden and discover the truth about the Ravenear before it's too late. It's the first book in a series, too. Ooh, I wonder if the other siblings will get powers. Interesting. Because then that would throw it off. Like, who is the heir? TBR. Like, it's given really good vibes there, so I'm interested in this. Okay, folks. So now we're on to my favorite genre, which is teen YA. There's not as many books as last week, but there's quite a lot of books that got released, and quite a few that I was actually given arcs for, which I'm very happy about. So, the first book we're going to be talking about is The Lost Girls, a Vampire Revenge Story. So, as you can see from a start, I did get an arc of this. I'm not finished it yet, so don't worry, I'm not going to have any influence on what I'm going to say. So, this book is LGBTQ+, fantasy, romance, and revenge driven. And revenge always speaks to me. So, getting over your vampire ex is easy as killing him and stealing his girlfriend. Holly has been stuck with crimped hair since 1987 when she agreed to let her boyfriend Elton turn her into a vampire. But when he ditched her at a gas station a few decades into their journey together, she realized that being young forever actually means working graveyard shifts at Taco Bell, sleeping in seedy motels, and being supernaturally compelled to follow her ex from town to town, at least until Holly meets Elton's other exes. It seems that Holly isn't the only girl Elton seduced in his wretched existence. He turned Ida in 1921, then Rose in 1954, and then he abandoned them both before Holly was even born. Now Rose and Ida want to kill him before he can trick another girl into eternity adolescence, and they'll need Holly's help to do it. And once Holly starts falling for Elton's vulnerable new conquest, Parker, she'll do anything to save her. To kill Elton for good, Holly and her friend will have to dig up their past, rob a bank, and reconcile with the people they've hurt in the search for eternal love. And to win the girl, Holly will have to convince Parker that she's more than just Elton's crazy ex, even though she's trying to kill him. I can't wait to finish this book. Like, the synopsis made me request it instantly. So that's all I'm going to say. The synopsis made me want to read it. I requested it. I got an arc. You should look into it. The next book is also a book I also got an arc of. A Dark and Starless Forest. So, it's an LGBTQ+ contemporary fantasy, and with a found family trope as well, which we all appreciate. When her siblings start going missing, a girl must confront the dark thing that lives in the forest and the growing darkness in herself. Derry and her 8 siblings live in an isolated house by the lake, separated from the rest of the world by an eerie and menacing forest. Frank, the man who raised them after their families abandoned them, says it's for their own good. After all, the world isn't safe for people with magic, and Derry feels safe. Most of the time. Until the night her eldest sister disappears. Jane and Derry swore to each other they would never go back into the forest. Not after the last trip ended in blood. But Derry is sure she saw Jane walk into the trees. When another sibling goes missing and Frank's true colors start to show, feeling safe is no longer an option. Derry will risk anything to protect her family she has left, even if that means returning to the forest that has started calling to Derry and her siblings' missing voices. As Derry spends more time amidst the trees, her magic grows more powerful, and so does the darkness within her. Just look into it, please. That's all I'm going to say. Just look into that book. Okay. The next book is called Defy the Night. That is the first book in the series, and this is from the same author as the, what is it called? A Curse So Dark and Lonely series. Yeah, this is her new book. It is a fantasy romance book, and it follows the world of Candela. The kingdom of Candela is in the brink of disaster. Rifts between sectors have only worsened since a sickness began ravaging the land, and within the royal palace the king holds a peace with a ruthless hand. King Harriston was thrust into power after his parents' shocking assassination, leaving the younger Prince Cormac to take on the bitter role of the king's justice. The brothers have learned to react mercilessly to any sign of rebellion. It is the only way to maintain order when the sickness can strike anywhere, and the only known cure, an elixir made from delicate moonflower petals, is severely limited. Out in the wild, apothecary apprentice Tessa is tired of seeing her neighbors die, their suffering ignored by the unyielding royals. Every night, she and her best friend West risk their lives to steal moonflower petals and distribute the elixir to those who need it most, but it is still not enough. As rumors spread that the cure no longer works and sparks of rebellion begin to flare, a particularly cruel act from the king's justice makes Tessa desperate enough to try the impossible, sneaking into the palace. But what she finds upon arrival makes her wonder if it's even possible to fix Candela without destroying it first. I'm gonna add this to my TBR. Like, A Curse of Dark and Lonely was also my TBR. But this also sounds really good, and I feel like things are not as they seem. So I'd be interested to read that. The next book we're going to be talking about is actually one of the books I'm really excited to read. I requested an ARC, didn't get it, but that is totally fine because actual like people of color and like actual like Indian people deserve to read this first, as they should. And I regretted requesting it whenever I found out that a lot of people don't get to read the representation that they need and want. So I'm very excited to buy this book is what I'm saying. So It All Comes Back to You is the book that I'm talking about. And it is an Indian diversity book, contemporary, and romance. After Kiran's mom died, Kiran vowed to keep her dad and sister Amari close. The night of the flu, Amari announces that she's dating someone and might move across country with him. Kiran is thrown. Dean is thrilled that his older brother, Faskel, has found a great girlfriend, even if it's getting serious quickly. Maybe now their parents' focus will shift off Dean, who feels intense pressure to be the perfect son. When Dean and Kiran come face to face, they suddenly agree to keep their past a secret. Because 4 years ago, before Amari and Faskel met, Kiran and Dean dated. But Dean ghosted Kiran with no explanation, and Kiran will stop at nothing to find out what happened, and Dean will do anything, even if it means sabotaging his brother's relationship, to keep you from reaching the truth. Though the chemistry between Kiran and Dean is undeniable, can either of them take down their walls? I'm gonna be real, I hate miscommunication tropes, but this sounded so good, and I feel like there's there's cultural aspects, and there's gonna be so many things that I love. Also, that cover is beautiful. I'm very excited for this. I can't wait to get my hands on it. It's gonna be beautiful on my bookshelf. We're going on to the next book, which is The Hollow Heart. It's the second book in the Forgotten God series. The first book was The Midnight Lie, I believe, and this one's automatically already on my TBR because the first one really interested me and I just want to read it. The covers are going to be mismatched because I hate the paperback cover for the first one, so I'm buying the hardcover, and this one won't match, but it's fine. It's fine. This book is LGBTQ+, fantasy, and supernatural. So, at the end of Midnight Lie, Nirma offered up her heart to the gods of thieves in order to restore her people's memories of their city's history. The half-Keith who once lived imprisoned behind the city wall now realizes that many among them are powerful. Meanwhile, the person Nirma once loved most, Sid, has returned to her home country of Huron, where she must navigate the politics of being a rogue princess who has finally reached her duty. In court, rumors begin to grow of a new threat rising across the sea, of magic unleashed on the world, of a cruel black-haired queen who must push false memories into your mind so that you believe your dearest friends to be your enemies. Sid doesn't know that the queen is Nirma, who seeks her revenge against a world that has wronged her. Can Sid save Nirma from herself? Does Nirma even want to be saved? As blood is shed and war begins, Sid and Nirma find that it might not matter what they want, for the gods have their own plans. Do you see? I've obviously spoiled a little bit for myself, but I feel I've been told so much about the character development in this book, and the world was really good, so that's fine. And also, I know that they're in love now, so that's okay. Sometimes some books will be and book 2 you'll see if they actually love each other. I'm no, I don't want this. So, very excited for this book. The next book we're going to be speaking about is White Smoke, another book that's highly anticipated on my TBR. Haven't got an ARC, of course. Going to buy it, though, and you'll understand why. So, this book is thriller, mystery, and paranormal, and it follows Marigold. Marigold is running from ghosts. The phantoms of her old life keep haunting her, but a move with her newly blended family from her small California beach town to the embattled Midwest city of Ciderville might be the fresh start she needs. Her mom has accepted a new job from the Sterling Foundation that comes with a free house, one that Mary now has to share with her bratty 10-year-old stepsister, Piper. The renovated, picture-perfect home on Maple Street, sitting between houses surrounded by wary neighbors, has its secrets. That's only half the problem. Household items vanish, doors open on their own, lights turn off, shadows walk past rooms, voices can be heard in the walls, and there's a foul smell seeping through the vent. Only Mari seems to notice. Worse, Piper keeps talking about a friend who wants Mari gone. But running from ghosts is just a metaphor, right? As the house closes in, Mari learns that the danger isn't limited to Maple Street. Ciderville has its secrets too, and secrets always find their way through the cracks. So, the next book is The Scratch Daughters, which is also another sequel. It's the second one from, I think it was like, the Scrape Daughters or Scapegoat Witches or something. Yes. This one is LGBTQ+, fantasy, sci-fi, and contemporary. And it's been a wild year for Sideways Pike. After forming a coven with the three most popular girls in school and developing a huge crush on a mysterious stranger named Madeline, Halloween was ruined by finding out that Madeline wasn't trying to make out with her, but to steal Sideways Spectre, the force that gives witches the ability to cast magic spells. From Madeline's perspective, it's not her fault. After a doomed relationship with one of the creepy, near-identical Chainridge boys turned into a witch hunt, they took her specter, so really she's just borrowing Sideways until she can recover her own and punish the boys. The specterless Sideways is a horrid, distracted mood, unable to do magic, and with the part of her consciousness tied to Madeline's. On the lam, she uses Sideways Spectre to hunt the boys. The other scapegracers are much jollier, heading into the winter holidays, having set up shop as curse crafters for girls in their school who've been done wrong by boys. When Sideways, through Madeline, gets a flash of how to track down both her foes at once, she asks the scapegoats to help entrap them, only to be told her plan is unsafe and unwise. So if she's going to find Madeline, her only ally is Mr. Scratch, the inky book demon currently inhabiting her as a life support until she gets her specter back. This is so much information, and I am so lost because I didn't read the first book. I think I'm going to read the first book because even though this is very confusing and it feels like everything's happening at once, this kind of sounds good. So I wonder if the first book is... Okay. I think I'm going to add this to the TBR. Definitely for the first one, though. Okay. The next book we're going to be talking about is Not Here to Be Liked, which is a feminist, contemporary, romance, diversity book. This book is also like highly anticipated because the cover just suckered me in, and I was like, ooh. Request was denied, but it's fine. So, emergency contact meets Moxie in this cheeky Syrian novel that unpacks just how complicated new love can get when you fall for your enemy. Enemies to lovers too! Yes! So, Eliza is the perfect candidate for editor-in-chief of her school paper. That is, until ex-jock Lean decides on a whim to run against her. Suddenly, her vast qualifications mean squat, because inexperienced Lean, who's tall, handsome, and male, just seems more like a leader. Fucking bullshit. When Eliza's frustration spills out in a viral essay, she finds herself inspiring a feminist movement she never meant to start, caught between those who believe she's a gender equality champion and others who think she's simply crying misogyny. Amidst this growing tension, the school asks Eliza and Lynn to work side by side to demonstrate civility. But as they get to know one another, Eliza feels increasingly trapped by horrifying realization. She just might be falling for the face of the patriarchy himself. Lol. Oh, that's a TBR right there. Because, like, enemies to lovers, I bet you as well, he's not, like, misogynistic or anything. He just maybe was interested, and it just unfortunately works in his favor. Like, misogyny and the patriarchy works in his favor, and he's just ignorant. But I hope she puts him in his place too. The next book we're going to be talking about is Idol Gossip, and this book is music, romance, and a K-pop book. These are really getting popular right now, and I'm very interested to read this. It's on my TBR. And it just seems like a really good book. An inside look at the K-pop phenomenon and a wary, punchy young adult debut. Every Friday after school, dressed in their new South Korean prep school uniforms, sweater vests, knee-high socks, pleat skirts, and blazers, 17-year-old Alice and her little sister Olivia head to brave a dank basement-level stairwell full of graffiti and slip into Norabing. Back in San Francisco, when she still had friends and earthly possessions, Alice took regular singing lessons, but since their diplomat mom moved them to Seoul, she pours herself into karaoke, vamping it up to their booth to Lady Gaga, while loyal Olivia applauds and howls with laughter. Alice lives for Fridays, but when an older woman stops her on her way out one day, handing Alice a business card with a bow, singing turned serious. Could the chance encounter really be a ticket to her elite status at Top 10 Entertainment Star Academy? With a little sisterly support backed by one of the world's top talent agency, can Alice lead her group on stage before a stadium of 50,000 chanting fans and maybe strike K-pop gold? Not if a certain influencer blogger and the anti-fans get their way. Ooh. But I'm very excited to read this. Like, just so many books, like, K-pop's amazing. K-pop's amazing. Like, I'm not even fully immersed in that, and I know it's amazing. It's quality, music, fun. This is a yes. So this is a good book. I can't wait to read. The next book is Wild Tongues Can't Be Tamed, which is actually a short story collection from a lot of Latina authors. So it has mythology, discussions, discrimination, stereotypes, just a lot of like talking about things and short stories that are involved with that. So it's just a lot. The synopsis is literally like writers from across the Latina community will showcase their different mythology, stereotypes in this rich and diverse community and book. Yeah, talks about sexuality, music to language, more personal essays. It's got a whole collection of stuff. So this would be very interesting to read, and I'm putting it on my TBR because everybody has different like cultures and stuff, and we need to keep up with that because you can't be ignorant. If you want to live in this world, you have to be a part of it. And reading up on other cultures is a thing. Is a thing you should be doing. So I can't wait to read this. Very interested in stuff because I love mythology, and also discussions of how like different things are. Because like I'm from Ireland, moved over here to Canada, and I didn't really think there would be a culture shock. There is. Like there's some things in Ireland that we do that is like, I've seen a little bit backwards in Canada here, and there's some things in Canada that I'm just like, I don't understand. So it's like, yeah, it works, but like our way also works. It's a weird thing. Like Canada is a lot more open for things than Ireland, but Canada is also fucking horrible too. It's like, I like this country a lot, but it's built on the blood of Indigenous people and immigrant people and African Americans, Canadians, sorry. We're saying that, but yeah. So you need to like diversify your bookshelves, diversify what you read, nonfiction and fiction. Yeah. So the next book and the last book on our teen agenda is Before We Were Blue, which is an LGBTQ plus contemporary book. So the synopsis reads, get healthy on your own or stay sick together. At Recovery Relief, a treatment center for girls with eating disorders, the first thing that Wiccan does is attach herself to a vibrant but troubled Rowan. Wicked, a cheerleader on a hit reality TV show, was admired for starving herself to ensure her growth spurt didn't ruin her infamous tumble skills. Rowan, on the other hand, has known anorexia her entire life thanks to her mother's chew and spit guidance. Though the drama of treatment life, they develop a fierce intimacy, and for Rowan, a budding infatuation that neither girl expects. Ooh, this is going to be heavy. I haven't actually read any books. I don't think I've read a book with like a lot of eating disorders. I think I'm going to add this to my TBR. It kind of horrifies me, but also I'm just interested to read this. I'm like, kind of scared to read this, but also I think I want to / need to. So I'm going to add this to my TBR. Yeah. Okay. So that was all of the teen books. So we're going to move on to our fantasy, fiction, romance, and sci-fi section. And we actually have one book in this entire section, and it's in our romance section. This book is something I received as an ARC. I need y'all to read it. That's all I'm going to say. But I need everybody to read it. Because if you see any of the book talkers right now, or anyone who's received ARCs of this, you'll know why. You'll see I've seen that star rating. You need to. So, the book is The Love Hypothesis. This is there's a lot of things that this encompasses. So, it has women in STEM. It has spice, fluff, communication, and a professor-student relationship, kind of. He's a professor, she's a student. They don't even work in the same department, so it's totally fine. But okay, synopsis. Oh, I'm also gonna mention this is a BuzzFeed summer read of 2021, so this is hyped up. When a fake relationship between scientists meets an irresistible force of attraction, it throws one woman's carefully calculated theory on love into chaos. When a third-year PhD candidate, Olive, doesn't believe in lasting romantic relationships, but her best friend does, and that's what got her into this situation. Convincing Aya that Olive is dating and well on her way to happily after was always going to take more than hand-waving Jedi mind tricks. Scientists require proof, so like any self-respecting biologist, Olive panics and kisses the first man she sees. The man is none other than Adam, a young hotshot professor and well-known ass, which is why Olive is positively floored when Stanford's reigning lab tyrant agrees to keep on trade a secret and be her fake boyfriend. But when a big science conference goes haywire, putting Olive's career on the Bunsen burner, Adam surprises her again with his unyielding support and even more unyielding six-pack. Suddenly, their little experiment feels dangerous, close to combustion, and Olive discovers that the only thing more complicated than a hypothesis on love is putting her own heart under the microscope. Also, I'm going to note this right now if nobody else noted this. So, I actually follow the artist who did the cover, and they're known for Kylo Ren and Rey pairing, and this story is actually inspired by a fan fiction that the author did for Kylo Ren and Rey, and so the cover and the description kind of matches them, and it's freaking hilarious. It's so cute and so good. But that's a great way to end this video. Thank you everybody for joining me today. If you liked the video, like, comment, subscribe. Do all, do neither, does not matter. I hope you're able to find some books that you are willing or interested to read. And all I'm going to say is read The Love Hypothesis and have a great day.